I'll see you all in hell, too. You remember that. Every one of you, I'll see you in hell.
Notorious gang members have led lives steeped in criminal activity, evading law enforcement, and committing numerous heinous crimes. However, as they face the prospect of spending the rest of their lives behind bars, their reactions to this grim reality vary. Do they express regret for their choices and the paths they have chosen, or do they remain defiant and unrepentant in the face of their punishment? In this exploration, we delve into the minds of these infamous criminals to understand their responses to life sentences. George Gould Thomas, a name synonymous with terror in South Africa, exemplifies the ruthless nature of notorious gang leaders. Known for his violent tendencies, Thomas was involved in orchestrating multiple murders from his prison cell. With over 50 charges against him, including 7 counts of murder, 3 counts of attempted murder, unlawful possession of firearms, racketeering, and other serious crimes, Thomas's case stands as a stark illustration of the criminal's unrelenting grip on violence. Thomas's criminal career culminated in life imprisonment for each of the 7 murders he was charged with. Of these, he personally executed 3 and planned the remaining 4 while incarcerated. 6 of his gang members were also sentenced to life for their crimes, with others receiving sentences ranging from 12 to 25 years. The convictions were a significant blow to organized crime, specifically targeting the 26s and 28s, 2 of South Africa's most notorious gangs. The trial, which began in 2010, covered crimes committed between 1999 and 2010. Thomas's reign of terror extended beyond the courtroom as witnesses connected to the case faced murder, with half of them being state witnesses. The court proceedings were marked by heightened security, with only journalists present to witness the testimonies, as terrified witnesses were guarded closely. Thomas's demeanor during the trial was unsettling. He showed no remorse, and his demeanor often included smirking or smiling, adding a chilling layer to his already feared reputation. Lee Manuel Rios from Massachusetts presents another case of unrepentant criminality. Convicted of first-degree murder, Rios faced a life sentence without the possibility of parole. In March 2015, Rios, along with his accomplice Jonathan Gavata, a respected Latin King gang member, was involved in the murder of 18-year-old Kenneth Lopez. The prosecution detailed how Rios lured Lopez into a fatal encounter, shooting him multiple times. After the murder, Rios confiscated Lopez's handgun, further implicating himself in the crime. The police raided Rios's apartment following his arrest and uncovered additional firearms and drugs, highlighting the extent of his criminal enterprise. Rios's lack of remorse was evident throughout the trial, with neither him nor his gang members showing any signs of regret for their actions. Their disregard for the gravity of the crime was palpable, reflecting a chilling indifference to the consequences of their actions.
As to count 1, jury having convicted you of murder in the first degree, sir, I'm sentencing you to MCIC injunction for the term of your life without the possibility of parole.
Abel Gallegos and his gang members committed one of the most horrific crimes discussed in this narrative. The murder of Simone Duran was a brutal act of retribution, following her identification of a gang suspect. Gallegos, along with his accomplices Rene Rosales and others, lured Duran into a motel, kidnapped her, and then executed her. They went so far as to pour gasoline on her body and set it ablaze, demonstrating an appalling level of cruelty. The investigation and subsequent court case revealed the depth of their brutality.
It was a horrific crime. I am struck by the casualness in which it was committed, the absolute disregard for human life. This is the result. This is where you will end up, with your family and friends crying as you're let out of the courtroom to serve the rest of your life in prison.
With over 30 witnesses testifying against them, the evidence led to swift convictions. Gallegos received a life sentence without the possibility of parole, plus an additional 163 years for multiple charges, including first-degree murder and witness retaliation. Despite the overwhelming evidence and the judge's expression of shock at the brutality of the crime, Gallegos and his accomplices showed no remorse for their actions. Their continued indifference highlighted their complete disregard for human life and the severity of their crimes.
Maybe symbolic, but I'm going to impose the maximum sentence just because you deserve it. People sobbing today. If there's any tears, they should be shed for Miss Duran. She didn't have a choice. Mr. Gallegos.
Lisandro Posada Vasquez and his MS-13 gang associates were involved in the brutal murder of 17-year-old Raymond Wood. The gang tricked Wood into selling them marijuana, then transported him to a remote location where they subjected him to a horrific and brutal death. The gang members beat Wood unconscious, strangled him, and inflicted multiple stab wounds, eventually severing his right hand. Vasquez, who was charged with aggravated murder, abduction for financial benefit, and gang participation, received a life sentence for the murder and an additional 10 years for his gang affiliation.
More defendant that has finally gotten to a day of justice for Raymond Wood and his family. We're very satisfied with that. Now, certainly there is still a sentencing to go with Jose Correas Ventura, and Mr. Christian Sanchez Gomez is still awaiting trial. So one more hurdle has been cleared, but there are still several.
Despite his early confession and acceptance of responsibility, Vasquez showed no genuine remorse for his crimes. His actions, along with those of his gang members, who received similarly severe sentences, reflect a disturbing lack of empathy and acknowledgement of the impact of their violence.
Here today was successful, the first of several that successfully prosecuted is because of our men and women.
Participating in crimes of this type allow you to increase in rank from paro to observation to chiqueo, from chiqueo to homeboy. And so there is motivation within the clique, within the gang, to participate in this so you can move up the structure of this criminal organization.
These cases provide a window into the minds of notorious gang leaders and their reactions to facing life sentences. The consistent theme across these stories is a disturbing lack of remorse, showcasing the chilling reality of their detachment from the consequences of their actions. The impact on victims' families and the broader community is profound.
This was a horrific crime, and it required, even with the acceptance of responsibility, a very lengthy prison sentence. And that's what we got today. Well, we've had 3 jury trials so far. So certainly those individuals have put the Wood family through very difficult trials. Mr. Posada Vasquez came in at a very early stage, 2018, prior to any other individual, and took responsibility by entering guilty pleas. So in speaking to Raymond Wood's mother, we reached this number together and deemed it appropriate.
As the perpetrators display an alarming indifference to the pain and suffering they have caused. What are your thoughts on these gang leaders and their reactions to their sentencing? Share your opinions in the comments section below. If you found this video engaging, then please like it and share with your friends. Also subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed it. Thanks for watching the video. See you in the next video. Until then, goodbye.